The G-Wade Podcast with Deacon Dirty.
Wow.
So
man.
it was, but where did Lords of Funk come from? Remember Lords of Funk? Or were
Dang, I forgot about that.
That was the other band.
Now that's before. Matter of fact,
I thought it was Lords of Funk, then Aggressive Funk.
You might be right, because I think at one point the aggressive, one of them is when we start allowing some of the
Lords
younger
of Funk, then Aggressive Funk.
Right,
Because by the
you're
time
right.
it became Aggressive Funk, that's when they transitioned, or they transitioned into real players.
Right, exactly.
Because they got a real drummer.
Because remember, y'all, that's when we
that's
had
when Cornell's people
right
started getting involved.
and the guy that played the guitar, Sniff, and all them.
Sniff played the I think it was
Remember
like the
he played
bass.
that. I think it was the lead. I think.
Oh, it was the lead?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
His other boy, David,
Right.
he played something. So he started bringing in his people,
and then
they just took over our band.
And you remember we got in trouble when we went to the studio.
Dude,
We was the good boys that did the right thing. Sometimes we mess up though.
it was Booby's grandfather.
Who was it?
No, Dee Dee's grandfather who got us the
No, I thought it was Nardo's father that got us. It was Dee Dee.
It was either Dee Dee's grandfather. No, it was Booby's
I thought
father.
it was
It was Dee Dee's.
that got it. Booked the space for
he
us,
booked
right?
the space under his name.
And some kind of way
we practiced,
right?
and then we left with it.
right. We kind of found some equipment that
Right.
we thought was ours. We walked off with it.
We did it a couple. Ooh.
Nah, I thought we only did it once. And then they
the
called
statues are up.
limitations. They over with that.
Because remember Coolidge?
Now, see, I wasn't there with that.
Oh,
see, y'all.
Never mind.
You know,
I ain't gonna incriminate by myself. You know what I'm
They
saying?
might best well take that diploma
Right,
back
right.
from me or something. You know, it took me forever to
work
get
hard
my
for
diploma.
that.
Right. So I wasn't doing y'all capers
Night
with y'all.
school?
No, I did a little night school. You know, a little extra to get my diploma.
Right.
But yeah,
That's funny.
I just remember all of a sudden y'all had new equipment. I didn't know
We
where
had
to
fresh
practice 'cause I didn't have no
EVs and
practice.
PV monitors
Exactly.
and all.
But then, because I had the house, y'all was like, well, how did he?
Right.
The hell like,
The hell is
this? Oh, this donated.
Right,
Bob.
right.
Oh, you know how we found it. Exactly.
2
But,
days later, hey, y'all got to take that stuff back, man.
Police said this, and we did it right.
Ain't
Then. We
nobody
went
got no
on and took
problems.
it back, and
It was Dee Dee's grandfather.
right, Mr. Bill.
Yeah.
Mr. Bill.
Yeah.
That which passed away. Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly. I thought it was Nardo father that did it. Okay. Yeah. So I know we had that studio. That was the first time I'd actually been to a studio, because I used to think back in them days, like, you got to be rich to be in a studio and things like that.
Right.
But
That joint right on New Hampshire.
in New Hampshire Avenue. But they
It's right next door to that. What's that joint? It's a restaurant right next door to it.
Mid Atlantic.
Yeah.
It's Mid Atlantic.
Yeah, that joint.
But I don't know what they ever did with that studio thing.
I don't know. I went over there last time I was up there. The building was like abandoned. Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what they did with it after that. But now, like, after we did the go-go thing, and then after you got out of school and everything like that, you started kind of going into the rap a little bit, right?
Yeah, I was kind of already in that lane doing rap. I'm air quoting it. And but me and my cousin, Vandale.
Vandale.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out
was,
to Vandale. How's he doing?
He's good.
Okay,
He's good.
okay.
Him and his lady and kids up there chilling, working, doing what he do. We were King Royal and the Chosen One.
Which one was the chosen one?
Who was king, bro? Who was all that? Who was filled with all this arrogance?
Got you.
Tis I. You know what I'm saying?
So that y'all started off.
We started off
Okay.
as a rap group. We was cool. We did a couple of shows. Nothing heavy.
Now, was y'all going to studios back then?
Yeah, we used to go to this joint down North Capitol. What's the name of the joint? A1 Productions.
Because I never knew they had all these studios.
This was in his crib.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you what's good. This is also when life started to. We started living. You
Right,
feel me?
okay.
And so now that we living, we look like we living.
Okay.
We wearing like we living. We
Okay.
dressing like we living. And I remember like the next week when we went to the studio, the producer, he's like, yo, he said, man, let me tell y'all something. When y'all first came here that first day, he said, y'all don't know this, but I had my gun sit right next to me, because he was saying to himself, who these little coming up in here with all this gold, all this all this fly and this money, so he was just looking out for himself.
Right, exactly.
But it turned out to be we was cool. You know what I'm saying? We just having fun. So we was doing that, for a minute, recorded a few songs of which I still have to this day.
Really?
And it would make you laugh to this day, bro.
Wow.
Listen back, I'm like, wow.
So now y'all had a manager and everything. So this is y'all down there doing your own thing.
We was doing our own thing. Oh, so we was using him down North Capitol, but my cousin Vandell also knew a dude out in Silver Spring, Maryland, Miguel, who still cool to this day. Born Wise, shout outs to Born Wise. That's because they was on the Asiatic, that black man thing. You know what I'm saying? And so we used to go to his house in Silver Spring and record in his basement on a 4-track.
Oh wow!
And it was crazy. We did that before we elevated to A1 Productions.
Okay.
But we was doing that for a minute, having fun with it, you know what I mean? And then life took a turn for me, because that's when Jesus came a knocking. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of like flipped. My life got turned upside down.
Oh, yeah.
It totally just flipped.
Now, would you say when it flipped, that means you was this, like a lot of things happened in a negative way.
Oh, yeah.
That kind of pushed you in a way. It was supposed to happen. So
Looking back,
so you could be where you are today.
Right.
But now you think at that time that was like the all-time low in your life?
Heck yeah, because I hit I hit an all-time low. But it wasn't because of that. It was because of some other dumb stuff that I did. And so, but that's when it tanked, because I was still, but I was doing it clientele.
Right.
I wasn't out, you know what I mean? And I lost my truck. I lost the apartment. I remember standing outside on the street on a payphone. Remember payphone? On the phone with my mother. This is in Laurel, Maryland. And I'm on the phone, whoop, whoop, whoop. Just, I don't know what to do. I ain't got nothing. I ain't got no way to get around if I can't get a hold of her or her.
Right, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? To holler at me. And I remember when my mother said, "Boy, you just like your father." And I stood there and cried, bro. I remember standing at that payphone and I cried. Because my mindset was like, first of all, who? Let's start there. You know what I'm saying? Are we going to say something about my father? Who is this man? You know what I'm saying? And but yeah, that's when it started to tank right there. And that's when the law came to come in and other legal.
But I think that
things.
it had to happen to get you to where you were.
It got me to sit down.
Right.
It got me
attention.
quiet. Right. And sure enough, that's what happened. Because I was up there in PG joint.
Right, because I think that's how we actually fell, not apart, but we got distance, because back then when we were on Kennedy Street.
You can't leave out this one
What's that, man?
When you wigged out on us, you don't know.
Okay. When I was my
not
living
drop, but this was Tony. This was
my
Fat
living
Tony.
arrangements wasn't as ideal as they
Bro, we was like, why you here, bro?
Yeah, I was going through some
He
things.
was in the gutter.
They came to see me, man. And
he was defiant about it too.
I was so
it wasn't like he
ashamed.
was like, you know what? He was defiant about his situation, like he living in it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I was lost for a minute. So you gonna remind me about that?
Bruh,
I actually forgot about that.
Nah, I ain't forgot about that, bro.
Like you said though, I think that certain things happen in your life to kind of motivate you or curve you to a point that you got to make a decision.
You got to do something.
Like, okay, do you
like
want to live
Brown,
like this?
What you gonna do?
Yeah. Or do you want to be like this? And that's when you got to look internally, say, well, I really don't want to live like this.
Right.
There's some people.
Bad,
I was
bro.
living foul. I was like really foul.
And by foul, we mean you was living in the gutter,
Yeah,
bro.
I was in the gutter coming from where we were to this.
I'm like, how,
I'm
bro?
like,
that's lower than
exactly. I was like, who cares? So,
but you lived in it for a minute.
Yeah, and that's when I started kind of opening up. But I think like when we start like, hanging back around the way, and then I got arrested a few times.
Was that pre-Paradise?
That's pre.
This is pre-Paradise. Okay.
But then once when y'all, by the time I came back and y'all was doing the thing out there,
living, yeah.
And that's when I'm like, whoa. And that's when I started saying, okay, I want to go back. I want to go get my diploma. I want to go to school, graduate and stuff like that.